Welcome into the CHGO White Sox Podcast, coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, the full CHGO White Sox crew. Got Vinnie Duber in the Mizzou sweatshirt. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. And the man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader, and it is AJ's fault that this title is Shohei Ohtani focused. You know, I know that the guy that makes all the decisions with the White Sox said they aren't going to sign him, but in this fantasy world that our CHGO diehards give us, why not have some fun? So maybe, you know, there will be an opportunity, a moment in time where Vinny or Herb, you'll be face-to-face with Shohei Ohtani in the back of a limousine trying to, you know, woo him coming to Chicago and play for the White Sox. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's the diehard question, so we're just playing by their rules. We're going to jump into some kind of AL Central news, free agent news first, and then we'll jump into the CHGO Diehard mailbag. But again, we do have a Black Friday sale going on. Vinny's going to tell you about it in a second. But while you're listening to us, go check out CHGOLocker.com. I know Vinny just bought a hat. I know that there's hoodies that are $10 off. I think you can go get the size C shirt. This is a great time to invest. I think you can get it for $3.
Yes.
So if he
$3,
yes. If they don't pull the trigger, I mean, you could have a size C shirt for 2024 for a great deal. You know, for those 12 games that he might pitch for the White Sox in 2024, it's a great time to jump in now on the size C shirt. And shout out to our guy Connor Smith with the super chat saying Baines' 110 had 17 seasons of an OPS plus of 110. Willie Mays had 20. So that's the elephant in the room, that Willie Mays was better than Harold Baines.
Well, but I think not. The point is that Harold Baines was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. He was 3 seasons worse than Willie Mays.
Well, you notice Connor didn't put what those OPS pluses for Willie Mays those 20 times actually were. They were just 110 or probably better. They could have been much better.
180, 190.
He is Willie Mays after all.
And Baines is just scraping by with those 110s. Scraping by.
Yeah, I think the worst out of those 110s was a 120.
Okay. For Willie Mays?
Yeah. The best a 185. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
He's decent. Right. He's all right.
You know who's decent and all right? My guy, Sonny Gray. He just got 3 years, $75 million from the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Twins get worse. And right before that, Kenta Maeda signed with the in-division rivals. He pulled the Jason Benetti. He signed with the Detroit Tigers. 2 years, $24 million for Maeda. And we heard a little bit when the GM meetings were starting that the Twins were looking to cut back payroll. They aren't going to have 2 of their best pitchers on their staff next year. The elephant in the room was that the AL Central sucks. Got worse with Sonny Gray leaving it.
I mean, the team that won the AL Central got markedly worse, I would say. I mean, Sonny Gray was fantastic. Maeda was fine, obviously still working his way back from those injuries. But the idea, I think, is that he could be pretty good again. If that's going to be the case, it's going to be with a team that isn't the Minnesota Twins. The thing that the Twins did better than anything last year was pitch. You go ahead and look at their lineup. It was not terribly ferocious. Obviously, they got some names in there. It's a solid lineup, certainly, but it was not nearly as good as their pitching staff was, and now their pitching staff is down 2 starting pitchers. So I'm not going to say that the door is open here for the White Sox to just waltz through. But if you want to talk about what everybody else seems to be talking about openly, you know, be it Chris Getz or Jerry Reinsdorf saying that this division is not that good, this division is now worse, A, because Sonny Gray is out of it, but B, most importantly, because the team that was at the top is worse, and it doesn't mean, obviously, that they can't go ahead and get better. The Tigers, you would argue, got better by getting Kenta Maeda, but to dilute that competition a little bit more, the Twins do not seem to me to be any sort of big king of the mountain other than the fact that they finished in first place last year because somebody had to.
Yeah, and I think that Kenta Maeda would be the more White Sox-like signing because of the low number, him being like a guy who at the second half of the season was more in control of what he was. Like the first time he came back last year off the Tommy John wasn't the pitcher that we expect Kenta Maeda to be. The second half of the season, much more Kenta Maeda. And so the Tigers, I think, got a good steal right there. $12 million a year for a pitcher that's usually going to give you 120, 140 innings a year, and it's going to be solid in the mid threes to upper four or the low fours. That's would have been the pitcher that I would have saw the White Sox to be in the market for. But since he's not in the Twins, he's going to the Tigers. You look at that now, Tigers' rotation, while not great, decent. Like, they have some pitchers in there that you're like, all right, I see what you're doing, Tigers. You're all right. You're coming up. You're the team that I've always thought them to be, because we saw last year they had some players just do a little ascending at the end of the year. Now we're Sonny Gray. If anybody's offering you $25 million, be it the Cardinals, which I don't know, they're starting an AARP team out there. They got Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and now, I mean, no, he's only 33, but Sonny Gray.
You throw in the two guys that they had already. Herb, I saw a stat on Twitter today. The average age of their 5-man rotation is 35.
Steven Matz is the other one.
Steven Matz and Miles Michaelis.
Oh, yeah.
It's a solid signing. And if anybody's throwing $25 million at you, you sign quickly and you don't ask questions. Is he worth $25 million in the open market? Yeah, because the Cardinals gave it to him. But would the White Sox or any other team in the division pay him that much? I don't think so. I think the Cardinals had a specific reason for paying him. They want to get back to Cardinal baseball, which is pitching first and then the solid hitting. So congratulations to him. I am so glad he's out of division. Sean will be becoming a St. Louis Cardinal fan because that's his man, Sonny Gray. But I thought that the Kenta Maeda move would have been a good move for the White Sox, just to have a back end of the rotation piece, a solid veteran like him. But they can get those guys. Those guys are around anywhere. And so I'm sad that he's in Detroit now, because that team is going to be a little bit more formidable than I think people are giving him credit for.
Herb, I'll tell you this right now. If the White Sox would have signed Kenta Maeda and then traded Dylan Cease, as they might be rumored to be doing, Kenta Maeda would be their number one pitcher, not a back end of the rotation pitcher.
True. Very true. Very true.
Hey,
you're not a Kenta Maeda fan?
I just hate the White Sox so much because, again, this guy got the job, Chris Getz, and he said, well, the elephant in the room is the division we play in. The elephant in the room is that your owner won't spend. And this is apparently not a rebuilding year. Again, I like to go with revamping.
Mm-hmm. It sure looks like one.
Oh, boy, does it, Vinny. Oh, boy. That's why I just thought the question about the budget was so important, at what that budget would be, because we see the Twins, they're like, hey, this is we expect our budget to be down from last year. The White Sox, I don't think they want to answer that number because, again, I don't think they're going to be in the Kenta Maeda market. I don't think they're going to be signing a pitcher for $10+ million. No.
You said that, and
What, are they saving up for Ohtani?
No, they're just saving up for a pitcher that can just give you innings. Like, yeah, right now they have people that could actually be in the rotation, but you need a solid person that is going to go out there and give you 130-plus innings. And 130 is on the low end. And they don't have anybody right now that can give them 130 besides Dylan Cease, who they're actively looking to trade.
I just think that, again, the owner came out and said, we're going to do this as fast as we possibly can. And just every move this offseason doesn't seem like they're doing it as fast as they possibly can.
This might be as fast as they possibly can. Ugh. And I'm serious. Like, that might, obviously that's going to make everybody upset. But I guess my point being that, like, nobody said, I hired Chris Getz so we could compete for the AL Central Championship in 2024. He said, as fast as we can. And judging how Chris Getz evaluated this organization, the fact that he has already stepped in and seems to be intent on making pretty significant changes all the way throughout. Somebody else might have come in and came to that same conclusion, but as Jerry Reinsdorf explained, that might take another year. This might be as fast as the White Sox can get it done, and maybe that means 2025. Maybe it only means 1 year of what we said, looking like a rebuilding year, but we'll see how it ends up. There's a lot of offseason left, and they've already been relatively active so far. So,
would you guys say the Tigers are the favorite right now to win the AL Central in 2024?
No.
Guardians?
Twins.
I would still say Twins.
Yeah.
Really?
They're worse, but they're still better than everybody else, right?
And they
Their
have
offense that relies on two guys that are literally in wheelchairs for half the season.
Hey, man, when they do get out of the wheelchairs and Royce Lewis hits the ball hard, it's gone. And Carlos Correa and then Byron Buxton, those people can put bat to ball with the best of them once they're healthy, which is very, very seldom.
They cleared the division by 9 wins, 87 and 75. Tigers were at 78 and 84.
They still have Joe Ryan at the top of their rotation.
They do, and they might one day get a Tyler Mahle, right? I think that he's still under contract.
They traded two good people to the Reds too, Encarnacion Strand, and I forgot the other guy, but they both
Steer.
And Steer. They're both starting for the Reds and doing pretty well.
They still got Pablo Lopez. Their rotation looks like Lopez, Ryan, Ober, Chris Paddock, who did come back near the end of the year and was absolutely lighting up the radar gun. So they might have something there. And then Louis Varland, who's only 26 years old. Their lineup looks like Eduardo Julien, Royce Lewis, Jorge Polanco, Carlos Correa, Max Kepler, Byron Buxton batting 6. What a fall from grace.
Real great.
Matt Wallner 7, Ryan Jeffers 8, and Willie Castro 9. Tigers rotation looking like Tarek Schoolbowl, Kenta Maeda, Matt Manning, Reese Olson, and Casey Mize. Their lineup looking like Parker Meadows, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter, Mark Canna, Matt Vierling, Zach McKinstry, Javi Baez, and Jake Rogers. I don't know. I think the White Sox, again, if they weren't cutting their payroll, if they were spending near 180, 190 million where they were in 2021, 2022, and 2023, I don't see how they wouldn't be competing with the Tigers or the Twins.
I think you're talking about spending an awful lot of money on on a very small number of roster spots, right? Because you still got my point is you still got Vaughn, you still got Moncada, you still got Benintendi, you still got Robert. I mean, that's half your lineup right there. You still have Jimenez, obviously, that's more than half your lineup right there. At least 3, I would say 3 or 4 of those guys, probably 4 of those guys, you probably have a pretty big question whether or not they're going to be good at all next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After what you saw this year?
Yeah.
I mean, four of those 5 guys had very disappointing seasons in 2023.
Who would you rather have as your DH, Byron Buxton or Eloy Jimenez?
Jesus Christ.
Well, but here's the thing. What is Eloy Jimenez going to be? What is he going to do?
I don't know, but what is Byron Buxton going to do?
I
mean, there's so many question marks in this division. Yeah, but he can't play a game. He's more fragile than Eloy. I think you can make that case. I guess Eloy's played more games in the past 5 years.
You're painting the picture of a world in which they would spend to fill gaps at shortstop, second base, right field, and on the pitching staff, which is a good idea. But my point being, all those other guys have to play well. They have to produce in order for them to be a threat to win that division. I think there's a possibility that they could, but if you're going into the season with the core of your lineup being a total mystery, I mean, how can you confidently say, like, oh, boy, they'd run away with this thing if they only would just go get 2 or 3 free agents?
They just made a win-now move to get Andrew Benintendi. They're stuck with him for 4 years. They're stuck with Moncada for another year. Mm-hmm. Eloy, you have the option to cut him next year with the team. I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of folding shop 1 year too soon. Like, I feel like they could have just pushed this corpse one more, time down the, I don't know, we're at mile 20.
Yeah, but theoretically,
of this,
they're
and
still
maybe
are,
they could
right?
still cross.
They could still just say, hey, you guys didn't reach the level I wanted for Cease. Throwing him back there, all these people are coming back, and we can win the AL Central. I can hear Chris Getz saying that because he looks at the Twins and says, like you, Byron Buxton, he never plays. And we know Reese Lewis is going to be hurt. Carlos Correa's always in a wheelchair. Hey, man, we need they need our luck and we need their luck. And we're right back in the driver's seat for the AL Central. And a little tweaks here, maybe Jake Eater becomes good, Nasrini becomes good, or we get Michael Soroka being well.
But that's a lot of luck.
If they were
a lot, that's what I'm saying. They need to be rolling 7s every roll.
It seems like they have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. 1 foot in is in the rebuild mode. We're going to trade Cease, and then 1 foot is, we're going to hold on to Cease and see if his value goes up in 2024. It just seems like
November.
Right, but now Maeda goes off, now Gray goes off, now Lynn goes off. Maeda and Gray would have been fine signings, I think, because you would have, around what, 12 to 10 million a year, right? If you get them for a year or two, I think, Maeda was 224, so that would have been 12.
Yeah, it would have been like
Gray just got 25 a year.
Yeah, no, I said Lynn, though, and Maeda. So, obviously not 25 a year.
But you wanted Lance Lynn back.
No, but I'm just saying, if you were going to just try to fill out the rotation with the best guys at that kind of Lance Lynn, Maeda level of 12 to 10 million, that's 3 spots you have to fill. Then you have Cease and Kopech there. I don't know. Or you could even invest in Giolito if you want to. I know that's something that you've brought up before. I just think that this team can finish better than just outspend the rest of the division at this point.
They could, but will they hit?
I don't know, but why? I don't know. You have Luis Robert. I just feel like there might be some argument to just say we have to do it because we have this player. I don't know. You're only going to have this player for 4 years. Why aren't you trying to max out the 4 years that you have of Luis Robert?
I would be doing that. I think most general managers, when they see this talent in Luis Robert and how relatively inexpensive he is, would be doing that. But the Sox right now have another plan. And maybe in this winter meetings, they surprise us and go and get not a great player, a good player that's all right, that is a move that you want to go to
good players. They need 5 to 8 good players.
But maybe they go and get a medium like Teoscar Hernandez. They go and get him. Would you be okay, that's a move for...
Who's pitching?
They'll get other pitchers. But if it's Teoscar Hernandez, would you be they're going for it?
No, no. That's a weird move. If their main headliner is Teoscar Hernandez.
I could see them coming away with
It's either the headline is we traded Dylan Cease or we signed Teoscar Hernandez. I don't know. I think just trade Cease.
Isn't that what you were just asking them to do, though? Go spend money?
And that's spending money on a position.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying just if the move is only Teoscar, if it's Teoscar Hernandez and who's the equivalent to Clevenger, if they make 2 moves again, which they already have made these trades. I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
The AL Central looks pathetic, and it seems like the Tigers might be the favorites.
But don't you think they can say
spring training
to themselves and fool themselves and say what you're saying? The AL Central is there for the taking. We don't need to do much of anything. We just say right here where we're at. Last year was a fluke. Come on, guys. That was a fluke. 2024 will be the White Sox year because we'll have all our players healthy. We have the defense that we need now with DeJong and Nicky Lopez up the middle. And now we're ready to compete. That was our problem. The air is up the middle and not hitting. We know that these guys are going to do this, that, and the other. I guarantee they're going to fool themselves and trick themselves into believing that even if they don't do a lot in this offseason, they'll still think about we're going to be competing in the AL Central because, like you said, it's right there for the taking. Do you think the White Sox are really a 61 and 101 loss team? I don't. I think everything had possibly went wrong, was wrong on a level that we haven't seen before. This season was so bad, on the other side of anybody's imagination. And so they're thinking, we got rid of the 2 people who caused this. We got new fresh blood in here. He brought in some defensive players. And now we're going to be refreshed. This is a new organization. We're ready to go. I guarantee they're going to be thinking that. And with this division right there, I don't blame them that much. But, yes, I would like them to be like you're talking, to be bully, to be a big-time bully in the AL Central and say, you guys might develop people better, but we got the money. We can pit 180 while you guys are pitting 100 million out there and get a better team than you guys do.
That does not line up with and kind of what Chris Getz has been saying. It seems like he wants a vastly more significant amount of change. And it also doesn't line up with what you guys were saying all season long, and me as well, watching this team, right? I think to say that they could bring back basically everybody with a few pitchers added, or spending money on the few pitchers and a right fielder or something, and boom, all of a sudden they're great again.
Well, I never said that.
You're expecting, they're good enough to win the division.
AL Central, which is the worst division in the history of baseball.
That is expecting the kind of turn. That is a lot of faith being placed with not a lot of actual evidence to back it up, because all we've seen from these guys, again, I'm not saying it's not possible that they couldn't finally have a healthy year in which they produce, but when you're talking about 4 or 5 hitters that you're like, all right, fingers crossed, this will be the year. This will be when it happens, even though the last 3 it didn't happen kind of thing. That is a very difficult way to make a plan, and to say that plan would also work, to bank your offseason on that plan working, and then where are they, and then where does that put them a year from now? That's a risky roll of the dice.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems stupid to trade Dylan Cease too. I hate where we are, I guess. Like the idea of trading Dylan Cease and just hoping that they have to get the package right just makes me nervous. Because they have one of these guys has hit his potential, and if Luis Robert Jr. plays 145 to 155 games in a season, we can expect anywhere to like 5 to 7 WAR, and I wouldn't really. I even hate putting the cap on 7.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we know that he can just be a power speed threat and have the defense and literally be a 5-tool player. So I don't know. It just seems stupid to waste that window. And the more and more I think about trading Dylan Cease and just seeing how much the division is for the taking, I just think that you just get rid of Rick Hahn, and hopefully Chris Getz's new way of thinking with defense would allow you to be more sustainable.
Yeah,
because I mean, you're just not going to have.
But
Jimenez
the defense is
year.
what you just got Paul DeYoung instead of Tim Anderson. That's the. I mean, that's
worth
the move.
Like 10
That's the move.
Well,
that fixes all your defensive problems.
I never said that. But like, what? I mean, you can't fix Benintendi.
I mean, to answer your question, yeah, that's what Chris Getz believes, right? He's like, if their defense improves, our pitchers will be much better because they'll be in the zone, so we'll be walking people. So by default, the presence of those 2 guys makes our pitching staff better, and then we're going to be a better team.
But that's just one. It's just one position. You need to improve defensively. They're reportedly going to improve defensively at shortstop. They've already improved a little at second base, but who knows if Nicky Lopez is going to be the everyday guy. They have yet to improve defensively in right field, and they've still got or catcher, and they've still got subpar defensive players in left field and at first base.
Right, and
they have two good defensive players on the field.
And their efforts seem to be more focused on trading Dylan Cease. So all of this is just wasted breath. Like, they're not going to go out and sign 3 pitchers or a right fielder. It does seem like it's going to be a rebuild.
Or perhaps a quick one, but that's the way everything looks at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, usually those rebuilds are quick. I mean, what?
More than one way to skin a cat, to use your favorite phrase.
Took their last one. We're going to talk about this in a second. It took their last 4 years to come to fruition. So
more than that.
Well, if at the end of 16, so 17, 18, 19, so only 3 years, I guess.
Well, it never came to fruition, I think is the point. It took 7 years to not work. Right?
It's true. I mean,
yes, it is a failure. Yeah, it is a failure, but it was showing some fruits, and then they didn't add to the fruits. They just like, all right, we're good.
After 2021, they were like, there's no way this team could possibly get any better.
We're just going to stay right here.
Yep. All right, well, let's take a break then, and we'll jump into the mailbag so people can stop yelling at us about the title. Okay, we get it. Shohei Ohtani's not going to come to the White Sox.
Hey, it got you here. Gotcha.
Got your ass. Want to let you know about our friends over at Circa Sportsbook. Our friends at Circa Sportsbook are the world's largest sportsbook, and tonight is Monday Night Football. So, hey, you might be looking for some entertainment. You might be looking to place a wager. Right now, the Bears are getting 3 points against the Vikings. It is going to be taking place in Minnesota, over under of 43.5. You got props on Fields over 1.5 touchdown passes at plus 190. Fields over under 197.5 passing yards. Fields to throw an interception at plus 110. I think 5 out of the 7 games he's been in, he's thrown an interception. Fields to score a touchdown plus 200. Khalil Herbert over under 53.5 rushing yards. Roschon Johnson over under 22.5 rushing yards. Herbert to score a touchdown plus 155. Roschon Johnson to score a touchdown plus 395. The point that I'm trying to make, even my coworker Cole Kmet to score a touchdown plus 285. Point we're trying to make is there's a ton of options that you can bet with Circa Sportsbook, and they want you to download other sportsbooks, see the options, and you'll see that each and every time you're going to be getting the best odds with our friends at Circa Sportsbook. They are very proud of their low hold model. Games will strive to be a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbooks, which may use a minus 115 or minus 120 split. They want you to go to each and every sportsbook. If you like a certain prop, if you like a certain line, they want you to go seek the best line out there, and they want you to, if you're going to be laying money down, win the most money possible. And their customer service is unmatched. There are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion. Unlike other books who use chatbots, all aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app, at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates that will be coming up with our friends over at Circa Sportsbook. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537, text GMB 833-234, or visit areyourreallywinning.com. Herb.
Midtown Athletic Clubs. There are 4 locations, one in the northwest suburbs, that's Palatine, one on the North Shore, that's Bannockburn, one in the southwest suburbs, which is Willowbrook, and the one that I frequent and went to today is Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel in Bucktowns and Lincoln Park. So it's a beautiful facility, awesome facility, 6 floors. Like the hotel's in the 4th and 5th floor, but the 6th floor is beautiful. The 2nd floor is where I worked out today. Oh my goodness. The Les Mills body pump, I'm telling you, take the class. The people walk you through. As a new person who doesn't usually take group classes for working out, they walk you right through. Leslie was my instructor today. Just an awesome class at 9:30 in the morning to get your Monday and your week started off right. The Midtown Palatine has launched a new multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be completed early 2024. Listeners can lock in favorable rates if they join before the end of the year. There is something for everybody. If you're a single person or, like me, have a fiance, which we went today, she got a massage after our workout. Beautiful saunas, beautiful showers. Everything is good there. There's families. I think Kevin took his family there to learn how to play tennis and have some tennis lessons. Anybody looking to make lifestyle changes or holistic lifestyle changes, you have all that there for Midtown Chicago. And one of our people said that Midtown Chicago is the nicest fitness club that they've ever been to, and that's echoed by myself and my fiance Courtney, because she was blown away by how extensive this place and how country club it looks. And so it is very exclusive, very luxurious there. And the locker rooms, they're just so luxe. And you have that thing where you're like, oh, there's too many people walking around, they're all naked. Midtown's not like that. Very classy joint. Don't worry about people just walking around naked in the locker room. They're very reserved.
That should be the tagline.
I'm telling you, like that's. I know people are scared about people just walking around all naked. Midtown's not like that. It's gym quality is elevated up to boutique fitness quality instead of just regular gym quality. You would think you're in some type of like country club instead of a fitness center right in the middle of Lincoln Park in Bucktown. And one of the things they have 7 different rooms where you can work out. I was in the arena today, a high-intensity interval training, Samadhi for yoga. There's Everybody Fights, which is the boxing place, the ride place, which is for spin and cycling, the field, and the theater. The best tennis courts and programming in the sport. Midtown has indoor and outdoor courts for pickleball, tennis, paddleball, and USTA professional quality all the way. Right now, stop what you're doing. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. You'll have a great time at the tour. And you're going, right?
I'm going tomorrow. So I'm very excited. And that's a great tagline. Midtown, not a lot of naked guys. So thank you, Herb, for that.
Feels
one.
good.
It's good to know. I try to look up, I think Harold Baines' stats in those 19 seasons, or the 17 seasons, he had an OPS plus of 124. I think Willie Mays' was in the OPS plus range of 155. So
you're telling me Willie Mays better than another baseball player? The odds are that will be correct.
I would say so.
Considering there might be only 1 or 2 ever that were better than him.
Harold Baines' WAR was 38.8. Willie Mays' WAR was
in over 100.
63.
Pretty damn good guess. 156.
Okay.
So he won a whole season just by himself.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
He won almost every in a season. If you were to distill his career to one season, he by himself with no teammates would go 156 and 4 or and 6. Excuse me.
I don't know if that's the exact data. I think you're right. 4 players have more career WAR than Willie Mays. Name them.
Hank Aaron.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is number 1, 182.6.
Hank Aaron.
I'm gonna
Hank
go.
Aaron is 7.
Michael Jack Schmidt.
No.
Rogers Hornsby.
No.
Ty Cobb.
That era, though.
Ty
no,
Cobb.
not Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb 6. I don't think Michael Jack Schmidt is even top 10.
Nat
20.
Blashaway.
No.
I just like saying his name.
No. Think of an award.
Oh, Cy Young.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
Never won his own award.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And another pitcher.
Roger Clemens.
Nolan Ryan.
No, older.
Sandy Koufax. No, he didn't play that
Walter
long.
Johnson.
Walter Johnson.
Wow.
There you go. Herb with the Walter
And then
Johnson.
is that all of them? There's only 3?
Yep. The Big Train. Cy Young. You didn't get. I think there's one more. There's one more. Yeah. I'm sorry.
There's one more?
There's one more you didn't get.
Position player?
Yeah. Position player. Modern.
King Griffey Jr.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
162.
Lamar Bonds. Really good.
162, Barry Bonds?
162.
He won a whole season's worth of games by himself in his
Yes.
career? How about that?
Babe Ruth, I guess, 120. I don't think that's the math, Vin. But, again, Babe Ruth 182.6. So he won a whole season and some. So those Yankees, he was with Lou Gehrig. So I guess.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Did they win anything?
Hey,
Were
there's
they
a
good?
reason they always compare everybody else to the 27 Yankees.
That's true. Were they on? That's them?
Huh?
That's
Oh,
them?
yeah, that's Babe Ruth
okay.
and Lou Gehrig, yeah.
Yeah.
Who
And
knew?
others.
Who knew? All right, let's jump into the mailbag. Let's pay off the title. Sorry we did this. My bad.
But you're here, so stay.
I'm so sorry. But our dear friend AJ, It's Baseball Kid, wrote in this very long mailbag. Say the White Sox are on the verge of signing a major free agent, a major award.
Timely.
Thank you. They have matched/exceeded all of the team's offers, and the player and his agent come to the Sox and ask, why should we sign with the Sox and not on any other club? Money is not the most important object for the player in this scenario. You
Okay.
are tasked by the White Sox with making this pitch, explaining why signing a long-term deal with the White Sox is a great opportunity, what the club has to offer them in the present/future, etc. What is the pitch? Herb, Vinny, who wants to start?
I'll go ahead and start. I mean, I will start by saying that while I love the spirit of the question is flawed.
Yes.
Because obviously the thing that matters the most in these situations is money.
They have matched/exceeded all other teams'
well,
offers.
then if they have exceeded, if that's important, match versus exceeded.
And
if
it
they've
says money
exceeded-
is not the most important object.
I understand, but it is.
But he's saying the qualifications have been made, Vinny.
I will answer the question. I'm just saying it very much necessitates them offering the most money.
Which they have in this scenario.
Okay. Well, so then he's going to sign. There, it's easy as that.
Right.
But
We live in a society.
The answer to the question that I have is this city, and I don't necessarily. I'm not trying to say like, oh, Shohei, you'll love the Art Institute. You'll can give you as many hot dogs as you'd like. I just think the idea is that this is a city that is in its sports culture and baseball culture. It is not replicated very much across the country. Across the league, in this case, we'll say. There, you can count on one hand the number of places where if you are the best player in baseball and you are driving this city's baseball team, one of them, to championship level status, you will become God in this city. All you need to do is think of the 2 words Michael Jordan. And I don't think it's outrageous to say that one day, by the time this is all over, Shohei Ohtani might be the Michael Jordan of baseball, just because he is doing things that nobody else has ever done before. I think there are going to be hundreds of thousands of people across the world that will grow up wanting to do what he's doing, and the impact that you can make doing it with Chicago across your chest is larger than the impact you can make doing it with a lot of other cities across your chest. I'm not saying that it's the only one. There are a couple out on the East Coast that come to mind, and there's probably a very big difference between having it say Dodgers as opposed to what he just experienced having it say Angels. But being the king of sports in this city is a big, big deal, and I think even already being the best player in baseball for the last, let's say, 2 years or so, and playing next to the guy who was and might still be the best player in baseball for the last decade plus, you have no idea what that is actually like because you've been doing it for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim And no offense to that team, but Orange County is not Chicago. And I think that it is an entirely new world that you can open in terms of your stardom, in terms of the way that you are treated and the way that you are looked at, not just here, not just nationally, but globally, if you do it playing for one of these two teams.
And I concur with that opinion, but I would also add that do it in New York, and you got to compete with the names that Sean has mentioned. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez. You're up there. You're in the monuments, probably, but you're in the monuments. You're one of the best. Do it in L.A., same thing. You're part of the history of a lot of people that have done it for the Dodgers. Go anywhere else. Pretty much it's going to be the same thing. You do it here for the White Sox. There is one clear offensive juggernaut in White Sox history, and it's Frank Edward Thomas. You can surpass him, and Frank doesn't pay for any drinks here. Frank doesn't do anything. And look at Frank post-career. He's selling everything. Dick pills, whatever you want. He's selling all of that stuff. Shohei, you want to sell to Japan? You're in for life there. Go to the Cubs, you're in for the party. And maybe you become a superstar, but after a while, they're just going to forget about you. And let's not forget the way they treated Kosuke Fukudome at the end of his career, and with some of those shirts. So we've had Japanese players here before. We've had Kosuke Fukudome here. We've had Shingo Takatsu here. We've had Tadahito Iguchi here. So ask them how it was here. Winning a championship, Tadahito Iguchi can come back to Chicago today, and everybody's like, man, Tadahito, you're a hero. We love you. Briefly played for the White Sox, 10 years maybe, if that?
If Shingo Takatsu was in the same bar as Connor Smith, he's not drinking until
Ever.
Connor leaves his side.
Very true.
Like, you can write your own thing here. Like, this is your city. It's not you're part of a long tradition of winning. You come here, you win here, you're Juan Uribe, who's revered in this town. And he wasn't a great player. Revered in this town.
This is your
Aaron
pitch?
Rowan. Yes.
You're Juan Uribe?
No, I'm just saying, like, the worst.
Pretty good pitch.
Like the players,
me over.
the players that are just regular are superstars here because they won here. More than anything, the Bears, 85 Bears. That was 40 years ago, almost. And those some bitches don't have to do a damn thing in this town, ever. Because this town loves its sports, even though its sports doesn't love this town. And so Shingo Takatsu came here wanting to win a championship. He did. Same thing with Iguchi. Now you can be the next Japanese star for the White Sox and put your own stamp on the White Sox forever and not be part of the Yankees lore where you're just missed in there. You're going to be up there with Frank Thomas. You're going to be the same name and maybe even greater than him. Think about any pitchers that you've had here. There's not a lot of Hall of Fame pitchers. You can be a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. Imagine that.
The Thunderbolts just signed their manager half because of sales tickets.
Thank you.
I mean, Bobby Jenks is now you're a manager of the Windy City Thunderbolts because of the 2005
Jeff
World
Blum
Series.
hit one home run in his White Sox career. Do you think Jeff Blum comes to any Southside establishment and pays anything? Do you think his name is not revered in every Southside home? It is. But you're going to be much better than that. So that's what I'm talking about, Shohei Ohtani or any other free agent. You come to Chicago to build your own legacy instead of following other people. So this is where you need to be. And it's easy to fly in, fly out. We have a world-class airport, too, so don't even worry about that.
You're thinking too small, Herb. You're thinking too small. And I think that for a player, the caliber and the status of Shohei Ohtani, it's about can you become the next guy who a generation of fans love. It's can you become the next guy who every generation of fans love. There are plenty of kids that were born after 1998, and every single one of them comes to this city and goes to the United Center to look at the Michael Jordan statue.
Yeah.
You could be talking about kids who are born 20, 30 years from now, years after Ohtani's done playing, years after they would ever have seen a game of his on TV, and guess where they'll go? They'll go to 35th and Shields to check out that Shohei Ohtani statue because that's the kind of player he is, and to do it in a city like this, that's the way you go from the best player in baseball to one of the most important cultural figures of all time.
And I think that he's thinking, okay, Chicago's great. Why not the Cubs? I got to just say, number 21, Sammy Sosa, lit this city on fire for years. Now these people don't act like they know him. Number's not retired. He's not in their Hall of Fame. None of that stuff. He's the 5th best player in their history. So you want that? You want them to forget you because you corked your bat or you did steroids?
Well, maybe just don't do those things.
Big asterisk on that one.
I mean, they were cheering you when you were doing it, and they knew it. They cheered your ass when you did it. And that other side of time will forget your ass immediately once you're gone and vilify you. Here, we will not vilify you if you're a champion for us.
Every Cubs fan I know loves the shit out of Sammy Sosa.
Herb, that's just incorrect. And not only does everything I say apply to about playing for the White Sox would apply to him playing for the Cubs. It'd probably be much easier for him to accomplish that playing for the Cubs, given that they have a more nationwide brand.
The ownership hates Sammy Sosa. I'm bringing him back until he gets on his knees to beg for them.
Yeah, and their ownerships the owners are weirdos.
Exactly, and that's who's giving the plug.
Yeah, but the White Sox. I mean, every owner is a weirdo. I mean, what owner is not a weirdo?
But if the player played for Jerry Reinsdorf, that player's loved forever. That's the one benefit of Jerry Reinsdorf.
Hey.
These Ricketts, while they might be better owners, they forgot the best player in the 90s for the Cubs, who brought all this attendance to them.
I mean, they had Jim Thome pitching Bryce Harper. It seems like, I mean, even though Jim was here for a fairly short time, he's very proud of, the time that he spent here in Chicago. I mean,
and nobody say a cross word about Jim Thome, even though he was a Guardian / Indian most of his career. Right. And he hit a walk-off home run as the Twin.
I think Bryce even asked him about Philly, and he was like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't know. I get it's a silly topic, like Edwin's saying. We understand they're down, but they're downsizing.
It's about the exercise more than it is about the reality.
You know how fun it would be for 4 straight months to just talk about the downsizing of payroll, having a GM with no track record and a stadium location that will probably be moved in 5 years or
Not
so.
fan-friendly.
That stadium location is very fan-friendly.
It's the most fan-friendly to
right
get
off
to.
the expressway.
We have cars in the L and the red line and the green line.
And the Metro.
And the Metro Electric. Not fan friendly, ridiculous.
Very fan friendly. Yeah. Surrounded by parking lots.
Yes.
Right. The one thing, I mean, the owner doesn't. They need to figure out how did someone get shot. That was still one of the craziest stories.
It's still going on.
Well, they came out saying how it happened.
They didn't. Nobody. I mean,
No.
That was.
Well,
Peggy.
it was because the gun was in like the rolls.
Yeah, but that was-
and then it like
that was
fell.
That was
rumors.
not confirmed.
Those were rumors.
No, that was not.
Yeah.
Last we heard was Jerry telling us that it couldn't possibly have come from within the stadium. That's the last we heard about it. I don't believe there's been any reports or anything from the police since.
It's going to be like that guy who escaped from the plane and then never was seen again.
DB Cooper?
Yeah,
DB Cooper. Just never going to be answered. He's going to live his...
And it was under... She didn't show her face or her voice. She said she didn't have a gun on her. But, I mean, whatever. You could just make him the mascot. Like, not to be... But, like, hey. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I don't know if that's legal in the CBA, but, try anything.
Yeah. Get creative. We'll give you 1%. We'll give you 3%. Shark Tank, right?
Yeah,
that's all that is. All right, let's take another break, and then we'll let you know about other mailbag questions. Want to let you know about our friends over at Ray Chevy. The Ray family had us out for their Toys for Tots event, and I know that went very well. And right now is the time to stop in. Over at our friends at Ray Auto. It's Black Friday savings time at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. As one of the top-selling Chevrolet dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. And all month long, you can save big at Ray Chevy during their Black Friday sales event, where you can choose from over 100 Silverados in stock, the perfect tailgating vehicle. And that's not all. You can get 0% financing with $0 downs, and 0 payments until 2024. And everyone loves the word free. That's why this month at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake, you'll have to head soon. Because, there's 3 more days left in the month?
Time is running out on November. That is true.
A free oil change All you have to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. It's a Black Friday offer that you don't want to miss, but you have to schedule it by November 30th. So schedule your oil change, a free oil change, by November 30th, and mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. Or if you show up to Ray Auto and Fox Lake and at their service center, just make sure you mention CHGO before the 30th. Buy with confidence with the Ray Price Promise. They want to do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which may make the price lower than you see online. So visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com to get your Black Friday savings. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads. Also want to let you know about our friends over at FOCO. Go get fitted in the best sports gear around. They have hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. I know Kevin is I don't know if I don't want to give. I think I saw it in the drafts. I saw Kevin was kind of working on a gift guide. FOCO related, a lot of cool stuff over at FOCO, a lot of cool bobbleheads, especially for the upcoming holiday. So go check out our friends over at FOCO. They donated a couple of great bobbleheads, the TA one and the Southwall one behind us. Hey, we even got the Charlie Brown tree. That's cool.
I brought that this morning.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my contribution, to the studio for Christmas.
Cool.
Nice work, Sarah.
So go show them some love at foco.com, FOCO.com, or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO10 for 10% off. I also feel rude I didn't mention Sarah's producing us today.
Hi.
True.
Hi, Sarah.
And was born after 1998, as she piped up when I made that comment.
I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
I was born in 2000.
And you still know who Michael Jordan is, and
Very much so. Yeah. One of my favorite movies used to be Space Jam.
See, there you
Yeah.
go.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad Sarah's here because you guys are old as hell. Sarah makes me feel at least.
I don't know if I'm old as
Vinny's
hell.
Vinny's not old.
Certainly not as old as her.
No.
Were you born before Space Jam?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're in the club born post Space Jam.
I had it on a VHS, though. That's where I used to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, hell
Absolutely.
Yeah. I used to play the CD on a boom box in my cousin's basement.
Everybody get up. It's time to jam now.
Oh, it is. All right, it's time to open up the mailbag too. Let's jump into the next question. NATO saying, aside from Ohtani, oh darn, what offseason acquisitions would legitimately get you excited to watch the 2024 White Sox? NATO. So basically, who's your favorite or most exciting player on the free agent market?
He really doesn't. I mean, yeah, he can play right field, but Cody Bellinger, for me, if they got Cody Bellinger to play right field for them, that would get me very excited. I wanted him last year to take a little trip down to the north side and say, no, you're not going to get him. We're going to get him for a cheap deal. I think it was only $18 million total. I think that would have been a great deal. And this year, I think he's only 28 years old, so he's signed Cody Bellinger because I believe he is back from his injury that he had a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think among the fan base, it doesn't need to necessarily be one of the top 5 free agents out there in order to generate excitement. It just needs to be an upgrade. Mm-hmm. And I think that if there is someone, be it at catcher or second or in right field or vastly more specifically in the starting rotation, who comes in and you're like, that is a lot better than what they had before that person got here. That would do enough, I think, to get people excited. Excited to mean that, excited to the point where everybody's like thinking they're going to win the division? No. But remember where the expectations are at the moment. This team lost 101 games last year. If you could point to not only short-term but long-term progress with an acquisition, you go get a starting pitcher who you know is going to be here for the next 3 years, and man, that guy can really be a good part of getting this team a lot better. I think that does it in terms of just being exciting. A guy who's very good at defense coming in to play shortstop, but might not really change, measure on the Richter scale very much. That's not what I would say excitement, even if it is a fine acquisition for what they had before.
I think it's very easy to improve over Gavin Sheets. So we'll.
But he's not even a starting player.
I know.
Well, I guess he is at the moment. Yeah.
And real quick, Mike saying, this is the typical Reinsdorf tactic. He has no intention of signing Ohtani, but talking about it until someone actually signs him takes the heat off of the team's surrender. Mike, just to clue in people who might not be aware, Jerry Reinsdorf, unprompted, when he spoke in August, said, we are not signing Ohtani. I think it was the first thing out of his mouth. Unprompted, no one said, are you signing Ohtani? He said, we are not signing Ohtani. The Reinsdorf tactic is saying, we are not in that race. No one on this, I was going to say couch,
Set.
3 chairs.
No one in these 3 chairs thinks that the White Sox are signing Shohei Ohtani. He is just available, and it was more of AJ's question of, hey, if there was a top free agent and this was the exact scenario, what would that be like? So yeah, no, don't worry. If Shohei Ohtani's not coming to town,
we should just record one disclaimer about this episode, and it just needs to be 3 words long. Search engine optimization.
And it wasn't even that intentional when I did it.
Like, and also, we're not gonna be the people trying to do that. So yes, this is all made up in fiction, guys. Yeah. You got to go with us. You got to come with us to imagine the White Sox are an actual team that tries to get big time free agents.
I would also
suspend belief.
Yeah,
suspend reality.
I also want you guys to use your imagination and picture what was the year when they signed Melky and had him, David Robertson. All line
say
up.
12, no,
10?
10, yeah.
Was it 10?
It was in I know it was in San Diego when they got all those people when they did the winter meetings.
I want you to picture
the Melky Cabrera, Jeff Samardzija, David Robertson offseason.
A great offseason it was. I want you guys to picture
we were hyped that offseason.
An offseason with 4 guys. All right? You know what would get me excited?
14.
December 2014.
Go back to December 2014, maybe December 2023. And picture, instead of Jeff Samardzija, David Robertson, and Melky Cabrera, Michael Wacha, Michael Lorenzen, the aforementioned Teoscar Hernandez, and Austin Hedges. Those are all upgrades.
No.
Those are all upgrades.
I mean, Hernandez is.
Yeah,
Michael Lorenzen is an upgrade over nobody.
That's true. Well, it certainly is an upgrade over nobody, yeah. Lorenzen, and if they got Lorenzen and Hernandez, people should be happy. Those are with those moves. They don't need to be happy that that's where the team is, but those are the moves that are positive.
That ended on the worst player, the Austin Hedges one, made me say no. But all the 3 before that, yeah, I'm in. Austin Hedges, I don't know if he's a great catcher. He's not a good hitter at all. So give me
Corey Lee's going to need to get some hits then.
Give me Austin Nola, so at least we have a chance to say, hey, can we trade your brother here? Can he come here?
No, he just signed.
I know, trade. That's why you got to trade him.
Herb.
At least he's decent.
I think Austin Nola is just as bad. Austin Nola's OPS was a 30 last year.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Good.
That's
We're
why
getting
they
a hurt player.
Well, then give me Gary Sanchez.
No Blake Snell? Just Gary Sanchez?
I mean, I'm just talking catcher.
I know.
You ended on Austin Hedges, but he wins.
If you're improving defense, that's all that move is trying to do.
Austin Hedges teams win when he's the catcher.
Sounds great to me. Thank you to Peyton for the super chat, $5 super chat. Just tell Ohtani that he'll be playing with the Trace Thompson, and he'll be begging to put on a Sox hat. LOL. They non-tendered him, so there's no guarantee. They got to go sign Trace Thompson.
Yeah, it will be tough.
Okay.
I'm 4th time would be a charm.
4th time to bring Trace Thompson back would be a charm.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that before. All right, let's.
You know the Bulls are going to trade for his brother when his brother's totally washed.
Clay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Not hitting any threes anymore.
It'll be the. Now I'm just trying to think of bad Bulls signings, and that I can't think of any, which is great for the
Eddie Robinson.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Exactly.
All right.
E-Rob.
E-Rob.
We call him E-robbery.
Let's go to Shulo's question, our final one of the mailbag. As we enter the new era of White Sox baseball, what was the highest high and the lowest low of the rebuild years, 2016 to 2023? For each of you, thank you, Shulo, for the question. And we just saw that we got our 29th like, so hit that thumbs up button, even though Edwin got clickbaited. I'm so sorry, Edwin.
What? I said 29 for Blackjack. He said Jeff Samardzija.
It's a Jeff Samardzija themed episode.
Willie Garcia was 29.
Now we're at Nick Swisher, 30-30 for 1 year.
He was calling the Baseball United game.
Yeah, he was.
And he made me want to turn it off. He was horrible.
Tommy Bahama. To answer Anthony's question, I would say the Tim Anderson walk-off in the corn game was the high of the whole time. The low. Getting somebody shot at a field where guns are not supposed to be inside and no one knowing what's going on is the culmination of this whole 2023 season for me. It's just like, what? Somebody got shot at a baseball game? and it's your team, that the games that you go to, yeah, that's pretty low in a year where you lost 101 games. I think it's hard to get lower than that, and it still hasn't been figured out either.
I mean, Herb is right in that the highest point was TA beating the Yankees in the Field of Dreams game. I would also submit, even though it was before they quote-unquote took off briefly, Eloy hitting the game-winning homer at Wrigley Field, the thanks Cubs moment, I think. That was among the highs as well. And certainly you can put TA's bat flip in there, too, if you want to go all the way back to that.
We're talking about the Royals one or the Tigers one?
The Royals one.
Okay.
The low point is August 2023 and all that it entailed. It started with the trade deadline and everybody getting traded and all the bad vibes that were there. It was, continued with Keenan Middleton talking about everything that was going wrong. TA getting punched in the face by Jose Ramirez. Obviously, what you said has nothing to do with baseball and nothing to do with the trajectory of a rebuild, but man, it was there. The whole Jerry reportedly wanting to move the team to Nashville, which he said is not true, but that was thrown all in there. It was just all bad. And then, of course, before that month was even over, they fired Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams and hired Chris Getz. Not that that is necessarily a negative, but just that they decided to start completely over again. That was the actual end of that story, and that month was just insane, and it will remain insane forever. The low point, they were bad before then. Obviously, that this season was lost. They needed to change direction before the calendar turned to August. But boy, everything that happened in that month was just cratering.
I'd even contend April. I mean, obviously it started off well with the Houston series. We split with Houston, yay! And then woof, Andrew Vaughn thankfully hit a walk-off grand slam, and they thankfully came back down 8 runs. But yeah, going 7-21 to start 2023 was just kind of a sure sign that it was over. Maybe it's not over if you're playing in the AL Central, but whatever. The highest to high, though, Luis Robert Jr.'s homer in Game 3 of the wild card, because they had the lead and they could have gone to the next round of the playoffs. I mean, they ended up taking a 3-0 lead, and then Oakland takes a 4-run lead in the 4th. But the White Sox were in position to advance in the playoffs in 2020. This wasn't just the Leury homer that won them a game against Houston. They were in the driver's seat, and they just didn't have the pitching to get them to the next level. And it sucks. Dane Dunning makes the start.
Quickly removed.
Evan Marshall pitches in the game, and I think he gets the loss.
Them and 9 other guys, yeah.
Crochet got hurt in that game.
Yes, Crochet gets hurt in that game.
Aloy got hurt in that game, I believe.
Just brutal. Rodon pitches in the game, too. He faced 3 batters.
Anything, yeah.
Just horrendous. So I think the highest of high was that moment where I took my headphones with watching you in the Score Studios, and I literally spiked it.
Wouldn't you think that more would be the Lucas Giolito performance in Game 1 that put you on the precipice of advancing to the next game? Because he was a beast that day, and no one was hitting him that day, no matter what team was out there.
I mean, I guess, but that only got that. I mean, they in the game-clinching game, they had a lead. I mean, Luis Robert Jr. was coming to a superstar before our eyes, hitting a 480-foot home run off Mike Fiers. I get your point. That was a greater moment, maybe a greater game, because they ended up winning. But the highest of high, I have not felt any better than when Robert hits that homer in Game 3.
Well, and I think the comment there that says never any consistency is the truth, right? Because it's not like they went this way and then down. It was just, it was this the whole way through. If you want to talk about 2020, man, this team looks fun. You're talking about all the good things that happened in that playoff series, but remember how miserable that last week was for them of the regular season. That trip to Cleveland where they're blowing games left and right. You go on to 2021, they won the division. That should be the highest of high. That in a year they win the division, the year the TA Field of Dreams walk-off. But that year was defined by the fact that everybody was hurt for the first half plus of the season. You get to 22 and 23, and there are There are good things, bad things. It wasn't just this climb, not even to very high, obviously, because they never made it past the first round of the playoffs. But it wasn't a climb and then a gradual fall. It was just a lot of chaos and then right off a cliff there here in 2023.
It's depressing, man. It's sad.
But remember remember the positive things that we were just talking about?
2023 isn't over.
That's true. There's
I
a
would
whole nother
contend
month.
if they trade Cease before the end of the year. That would be my lowest low.
That's what I wrote. Hey, that's how when Jason left to go to the Tigers, that's what I wrote, is that Sox fans are having the year from hell that just will not end. And I think in there somewhere I'm like, hey, there's still another month left.
Oh, Jesus, man. Oh, God.
See, I would think that Chris Getz and his staff would feel like you. We're going to hold on to this dude unless we're blown away. And so hopefully they're smart like that, and they feel like the only way they're giving Dylan Cease away is that they're getting such a great pieces back, that it was an undeniable deal that we had to do.
It seems like they're waiting, though. Like, I mean,
Perfect.
but like it seems like they have so many needs, as we've laid out: right field, possibly starting second baseman if you don't believe Nicky Lopez is that guy, and maybe he's just a bench utility guy, catcher, as many starters and pitchers that you can, or relievers that you can find. It feels like you should be more active if you were actually trying to contend, and it doesn't seem like their efforts right now are on contending. It's on rebuilding and unloading Cease.
Hawk would say the White Sox in the catbird seat. They let people come to them. They're not. I don't think they're actively shopping Dylan Cease. They're not going out and saying, "Hey, man, we're doing this." They're letting teams come to them. We're open for business, but bring your best deal. Dodgers, Braves, Orioles, what you got? And compete amongst yourselves.
If they were going and picking off pitchers and like signing them in minor league deals right now and stuff like that, and trying to shape out like the depth, like there's time to do that. But I mean, like right now is the best time when all of the guys are available.
No,
I mean, you'd assume that Bannister would have targets that they'd be attacking.
It's the opposite of what I wanted them to do last year. Remember when they, and then he's a major league pitcher, when they jumped the market to sign Mike Clevenger, they felt they wanted to get him. Now, Bannister might still have those people's names, but those people are also looking for major league deals right now. They still have the mind like, oh, somebody can give me a major league invite and I can make that team. Until like January comes, they're like, that's not happening. And then they start doing it.
And all those guys are waiting for the big guys to sign, because teams need to sign Aaron Nola, which has already happened, sign Blake Snell, sign Yamamoto. They need to get those guys off the board first, so then the teams are standing there and saying, all right, who can we go get? The Cardinals did a phenomenal job of jumping that market. It cost them in dollars in going to get Sonny Gray, but they get two other guys too. You know, teams that are looking to fill actual holes are going to have to overpay for that. Are the White Sox going to sit here and go, well, guy that might be a reclamation project, we're going to throw X million dollars at you right now just because we want you on the team today instead of 3 months from now when we can maybe sign you to a minor league contract? I
guess. I mean, that just seems like a lot of, I don't know. If you feel like you have a guy, I feel like you should just.
If that guy was available, he would be a major leaguer.
Huh?
If you're saying sign these people to minor league deals,
I'm saying do anything. Hey, sign him to a minor league deal. Sign him to a major league deal. I don't care. Sign somebody. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, if you have targets, why aren't you? I don't know. I feel like Brian Bannister. The whole point is that all I'm trying to say is it doesn't seem like that's their effort right now. Their effort seems to be, let's trade Dylan Cease, which is just...
That's probably priority number one.
Well, whether it is or isn't, it's just all you're hearing about because it's interesting. You know what I mean? I don't know if the national reporters are out there being like, hey, a lot of fire, a lot of smoke around this guy who might get a minor league contract from the White Sox. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they signed DeYoung, and we're expecting that to be official at some point in the next coming days. I mean, it's not like
that's moving early. I mean, doing anything before the winter meetings to me counts as moving on something early.
Mm-hmm. All right. I would welcome more aggressive behavior from the Sox. That's all. Do you have to do a diehard read? A little Black Friday read?
I just wanted to let everybody know that if you look at the hat on Sean's head, I went to the CHGO locker over at ALLCITY and purchased one for myself.
Oh.
Isn't that exciting? So you'll see me wearing it soon in the future. But those hats, those are part of the big CHGO Black Friday sale that we've got going on. Today is the last day to do that here on Cyber Monday. Absolutely. Those hats, as well as all the hoodies that folks around here wear, are $10 off. But there's even bigger savings to be had. T-shirts are up to 90% off. Sean mentioned something about a $3 Dylan Cease shirt earlier. How about that? Team gear is at least 20% off. CHGO gear is 33% off. And how about this? If you spend $75 or more, you'll receive a $15 gift card. Plus, there's more. So just go on over to that CHGO locker. And remember, too, if you're a CHGO diehard, you'll always get discounted merchandise. But, of course, today is Cyber Monday. You got a few hours left to go get savings on all the stuff, all the fine products we offer over there.
Absolutely. And I know there's new stuff like glasses. I know Sarah.
Yeah, I saw
glasses.
the pint glasses. Those look nice. How about that new Bears shirt right there?
Well, sweatshirt action, too.
How about it?
Look at that. So
The pride and joy
There's pint
of
glasses for all the teams
Illinois.
here too.
All the teams.
Yeah,
Even
there's
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys got a Sox
Look
one.
at that.
Yeah.
Brawler Cup.
Yeah.
So go check out CHGOLocker.com.
Even us. We're one of all the
That
teams.
makes-
I know, but
those
I
glasses
mean-
make nice stocking stuffers.
A lot of Cubs fans in the chat today getting real puffy chested that the White Sox are even mentioning Shohei Ohtani in their headline. So I don't know. It's the White Sox still exist. I hate to say it. The White Sox still exist. Real quick, I don't really know why I'm doing this, Herb, but like even the Clevenger thing, like the reason that became a bad signing was because what came out in December and January. In November, in the moment, that's not a bad signing. They signed a picture for 130 innings and gave him a 118 ERA plus. It got, obviously, big disclaimer, take aside what happened in December and January. He still pitched for the White Sox in 2023, and that wasn't a bad signing. It's just that was the only signing they made in a win-now era. It was that and Benintendi. Those signings sucked. If you want to throw Elvis Andrus, who they waited on, too. Like, those were the three moves of their 2023 win-now offseason. Just pathetic.
I got you. But
Like
as I said before, it's not who they signed necessarily. At the time, didn't know anything about Mike Clevenger's off-the-field stuff. But also I knew how he did in San Diego the years prior. It's just the player that they signed wasn't of that ilk to go and jump the market for. They could have had him in January. Or a player like him, like you're just talking about with Michael Wacha, is the same type of player. So, jumping the market for a player that could be signed later is the wrong thing for me. It's value. You don't pick the number, like the Bears get the number one pick. Do they pick a defensive tackle even though they need one? No, they pick the best player, or they trade out of that position and get a lower place so they can get more value for the pick that they have.
But Herb, it's not your money, so what do you care how much they spend when they spend it?
Because I know that they have a limited amount of money to spend.
But last year they spent that money on Mike Clevenger and then went and spent the most money they've ever had on a free agent.
And they spend,
but that's
spend
all they
bad money
spent.
after bad money.
I mean, what that was? How much total did they spend? 8 on Clevenger.
No,
and then
my point is
They
that
spent
if
$19 million on those three
if you
free agents.
identify if you identify a guy you want and you go get him in November,
Yeah.
that's a job well done. Even if us sitting here don't think the signing was a good one, they did exactly what they wanted to do. Good for them.
Yeah, I don't understand why jumping the market for a guy who was above average was a bad signing. The reason why it was a bad signing was because of his behavior. But like
Alleged.
the actual,
I thought he is not the player to do that. I get what you guys are saying. If you've identified a player that is your player, go and don't waste any time. But that's a top of the market person. If you identify a middle to bottom of the market person, wait until that market settles. That's the Adam Eaton move again.
they spent $8 million. The Adam Eaton move wasn't bad though. The Adam Eaton move was bad because they didn't give Jock what he wanted.
They didn't wait. That's what I'm saying. Like, you wait. No one's checking for Adam Eaton. No one's really checking for Mike Clevenger.
It seems like they're waiting. So I mean, I don't know.
And you tell me what deal Mike Clevenger's going to sign this offseason.
I don't know. I don't care.
Exactly. You don't have to jump the market for middle tier people. Jump the market for Shohei. Jump the market for Sonny Gray, like the Cardinals did. That would have been a good market jumper.
You didn't even want to sign Sonny Gray.
I didn't, but if they would have jumped the market for him, like, hey, that's the move you do. That's a good move. And $25 million, while I think it's overpayment, congratulations, Sonny Gray. You finessed the market, and you've done a good job.
Well, and that dude went through a ton. I mean, so many injuries. So I mean, good for him to get
As
paid.
somebody said earlier, it's like Blake Snell's at the house, like, baby, awesome. Get your money, Sonny Gray. I love it.
5.4 K per 9 or walk per 9.
I love it.
That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Man in the middle is Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ekronwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show. How many people we got watching still?
It was
46. Nice. We still got the ability to max out on likes. So if you are still hanging around, if you are chatting in the comments, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on your way out and subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We got a ton of Bears coverage coming tonight for the Monday Night Football game between the Bears and the Vikings. So stick tuned for our CHGO Bears coverage
Check it out
later on.
Where Aaron Bummer likes.
Oh, there you go. Perfect time to end it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Or maybe we wait for Reynaldo Lopez and I can share all my fun Reynaldo Lopez starter stats.
We'll be here another hour.
Okay, all right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. Well, I won't.
We all silly like the mayor.